Good evening, good evening, good evening. So, popping up again. I had to make sure I had everything right. It's so much going on. It's so much going on. Let me get a good mic. Y'all can listen to that music again real quick. All right. All right, I think I'm ready. I hope you guys can hear me. I want to look at my settings really quick. I had to get myself situated. I had to get my head together. So I want to tell a really funny story about my hair underneath this afro, but I need to be able to share a picture of that. And I'm making sure that my microphone is working. Testing, testing, 1, 2. Testing, testing, 1, 2. So it looks like the microphone that I have clipped is on. And this is what we're doing. So where's everybody watching me from? Can you guys leave me some comments? So I want to talk about a lot of things. And I do a lot of posts. I talk to my friends. I watch a lot of things on YouTube. I do my own research. And my friends, my husband, especially like Kendra, you need to just go ahead and just share how you, hey Tradonna, thank you. Just share some of these dope concepts and ideas that you have. And the funny thing is that people do not believe me when I tell them there's an aspect of me that's shy. But it is. It's that little girl. All right, you in case for all right. You know, that little girl that always felt she could do it, but sometimes she didn't. Because she got teased because she stuttered. For those of you that don't know me, the people that know me know that I've come a long way. So I still get that little stage fright, that little, oh God. And then when you add in me, thinking my analogies and things like that, I'm like, they're going to throw tomatoes at me. But we have a lot going on. So what I'm going to do is, since I've warmed you guys up, I'm going to play my little intro because I worked on it so much. And I love it so much because I know it's been a lot of commentary. People have been talking about the lunar eclipse, the impending solar eclipse in Baltimore, Maryland, the Francis Scott Key Bridge collapse, which is it's a interesting sight to see. Of course, everyone is talking about Diddy. And what I find interesting is that all of this stuff is not only happening almost at the lunar eclipse, but it's also happening during what Christians call Holy Week. It's also Ramadan for my Islam people. And I just think it's very interesting the way that the energies are being used. And we need to be mindful of the way that energy is being used. I don't care what your faith is. If you think it's a setup, it's a fraud, it's the government, it's the elite, believe it or not, everyone is right at the level of their choosing to understand. And one of the things that I like to do is really find the common thread in a lot of these stories. Um, so yeah. So basically we are just having conversation.
Yeah, ISO, that's it right there.
All right. So we're back. Before I get started, I want to remind everyone that I'm also known as the Joy Factor Mama, and I have a wonderful coaching system that I am incubating and I'm birthing, and it's called the Sacred Joy Garden. And it's where I take ladies through 30 days of each of my joy locks. This month, we are closing out the month with the emphasis of laughter. And laughter is a very healing aspect of living, whether we realize it or not. Laughter has healing properties. One of the main things is that it relieves tension. It helps to release toxins out of your body. It exercises muscles in your face. It brings down tension. We have to remember to laugh more. And the mantra is laughter is my medicine. And in light of a lot of different things that's going on right now, we got to learn how to laugh. We have to, because the irony of what's happening looks like sometimes when I'm watching the news, I'm sitting there like, this feels like an episode of Scandal. I swear. It seemed like Olivia was working with somebody that, I mean, like, for real, like, word. But the saying is that art imitates life, right? So life can imitate art. It's like the snake eating its own tail. Everything is energy, frequency, everything is contingent upon the other. And we're coming at a time where a lot of things that we never thought we would see, we are seeing. A lot of things that we have feared or thought in the back of our minds have come to our forefront. And astrologically, this has been in the skies forever. And if there's any astrologers that are watching, I would love for you to join me. Join me. I will send you a link and you can pop on and really educate me and anyone else that's watching about this 2024 because it's been saying, they've been saying that, this is the year of we, you know, revealing that you know, America is like experiencing its Pluto return. And whether you believe in the stars astrologically or not, what's happening also corresponds in our sacred books from Christianity to Islam and all those in between, before and after and currently. So this is not the time for us to be fighting about who's right and who's wrong. This is the time for us to find common ground to just thrive. I was going to say survive, but Spirit said no, say thrive. Because this is where we've been. We've been surviving. We've been doing a lot of surviving. Even some of us that may be living these big, beautiful lives, imagine that that is considered surviving in where you can be. And I speak that as well for myself. Oh, thank you for the hearts. Guys, comment, give me some likes, of course. Comment where are you watching from. Tradana says that she's in Catonsville. Where are you guys watching from? And even if you can't stay on long or watch long, share this. Share this because I'm going to keep doing this. It's going to keep growing. And I mean, why not? I'm probably say something that's interesting. That's how it goes. So one of the things that we need to my baby Cheryl. Hey mama, how are you? I've been thinking about you. I see you being and achieving. But we've got to really stop looking at where we disagree with things. Because it's again the snake head eating its own tail. I did a post on Facebook the other day. I'm gonna share it. And nobody really messed with it. No one commented on it. So, but I'm gonna share it here because this is where my mind is. Let me see. I can find it, go back to my page. Because when we're talking about this lunar eclipse, we're talking about what we're seeing with Diddy and the bridge. I'm going to talk about that. We're going to talk about the bridge because that happened within driving distance of my house. Why can't I find my post? Let me see. I thought I posted it. Now it's making me feel like I didn't even post it. That's weird. Or did I post it on another platform? Okay, here we go. So, how do I do this? Oh, you are doing awesome. All right, mama. I know you are. Because you're seeking yourself. You powerful goddess that you are. All right. Let me see. Wait a minute. I messed up. I'm used to doing this stuff on Zoom, but in order to stream, everyone says that this is like the best. And okay. So when we look at everyone is really tripping about Diddy and what's happening with him. And people are wondering, and this is what I wrote. On a lunar eclipse, wow, Diddy. The other day when they ran up in his crib, and I wrote, while some wonder how deep it goes, let us also be made aware how high it goes up, how far back through and past Motown to Chess Records and RCA. You know, we, and again, we have to stop trying to say, well, you know, what about they just coming down on him? But it's so many other people that have done it. Yes, both can be true at the same time. So while we are looking at the horrendous charges that each day seem to be more and more being confirmed, we cannot not consider that he had help from a much higher ranking aspect of the business. Now, whatever names you want to call them, the the bright ones, the elite, those down low in the underworld, whatever, however, whatever, it means that there's a system. And the fact that everyone has all these different thoughts about who's helping him or how, we must accept that they're all connected. Everybody's right. But how and when are we going to fix it? Do we think that it started with Bad Boys? Heck no, of course not. Of course not. But when are we going to stop making excuses? What are we going to say in terms of stopping it? And it begins with the way that we look at things. And then what I asked was, are we going to continue cutting heads off snakes? Or are we ready to destroy the snake by destroying the culture that gives it regenerative power from decade to decades? Every so often, people say there's something that needs to be given up so that others may be saved. However way you want to call it in your frame of understanding. Are we ready as a collective to not continue to allow ourselves to deny the obvious of things? Within ourselves? Because as the stories began to come out way back when, you know, a lot of us were like, oh, that's the way Hollywood is. That's the way the music industry is. That's just people gotta, you gotta pay, you gotta do this. Why? 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 We are at an age now. The reason why we complain about Generation Z, as they're called, or I don't know what they call them, Generation Z, Gen Alpha, I don't know, millennials, I don't know. We may complain about them and say that they're too soft or they don't have an understanding of things. They don't. That's true. They have decided that they're not going to keep carrying pain. Some of them express it in a very positive, quote unquote, elevated way. Others rebel with music and quote unquote bad behavior. But because of a lot of things that are happening, that we don't have to keep carrying that generational pain unless we choose to. Are we ready to let go of saying that's just the way things are within our own lives? I'm just saying, are we ready? Because there's been institutions where a woman may agree to certain arrangements or certain things. And I'm going to go back, but I just feel led to continue sharing this. But when she says that's enough, then that's enough. What they're doing to me has a moral aspect to it, but it checks the boxes for other aspects of things. But I'm going to get back to that. On a lighter note, before I get all deep, do y'all know that JC Penney's is closing? Does anybody, hey girl, does anybody still have a JC Penney's near you? I have one that's not that far from me, and they are actually closing. And we're seeing a lot of stores closing. A lot of them. A lot of them. Okay. So yeah, JC Penney's are closing within the week. Check this out. Oh boy, I hate this commercial. Oh God. Wait a minute. This is not the same store. Sorry. Sorry. Penny drops. JC Penney will close all stores in under a week, leaving fans of the department store scrambling for alternatives. So they're shutting their doors for a few days. Now, when have you ever known? Um, yeah. So JC Penney's now, JC Penney's is really struggling here, right? So I can just imagine. So whenever you see stores closing, that's like major shopping days. Something is going on. Family Dollar, the Dollar Tree ain't no dollar no more. And we laugh, but what's really good? Do we need to start stocking up or do we need to start creating our own? How do we do that? Just saying. Just saying. Now let's talk about this full moon, and then I'm going to go into what's going on. So everyone has been talking about this eclipse season. As a matter of fact, I should share one of my peoples on TikTok that breaks it down. But basically, I'm gonna try to see if I can find it really quick. Basically, though, with and again, if there's any of my astrology people that are watching, I will drop the link down in there for you guys to come and oh my God. Okay. If there's any astrologers, astrology folks out there, please, I would love for you to join me to share because I'm just really going by uh, my love of astrology and the way that I feel. But I guided my ladies in the sacred joy, joy garden to really do some introspective work and to not really do too much physical expression, but because the energy was very heavy and very strong. And when you have this energy with a lunar eclipse and a full moon, it can feel it's a lot of energy. And the energy is about the way that we show up for ourselves in our relationships and connections with people. That's really the root of that energy. And a lot of us have been really afraid to deal with not blaming someone else. We've been avoiding it. It's always somebody else's fault. And I get it because you get triggered. But can you be honest about it? That's the first step. I'm learning to be honest that people make me uncomfortable and I get triggered. That's step one. I mean, I've always been pretty clear like about that, but I'm just burning some of my incense. I made this great incense, Blockbuster. It is amazing. I will be offering it on my website. It is available on the website that my daughter in love and I have called Ancestral Illumination. And we're also selling ancestor money, just so you know. But the energy of this that we're feeling is who are we to ourselves? And what can happen if we're not doing the inner work is we will be smack dab in a situation that makes us face the way that we've been treating ourselves in relationship to others. And I know you say, okay, what's up? What does that mean? And again, guys, um, if you can hang out, look, I'm going to be talking for a minute. So if you're getting ready to take a shower, if you're washing dishes, trying to put the baby to bed, put your earbuds in, shake the baby, and hang out with me. Because we're just having conversation. So this is like my little Facebook podcast type of doohickey. And you'll have the opportunity to join me if you have some thoughts about some of the things that I'm sharing. But when we ask that question, it's like, do we feel that we have to be, do we shrink ourselves because we don't want to deal with the spotlight? It's not because the people make you feel small. We can talk about that. People can make you feel small. They can make you feel tranquilized. People can gaslight you. All of those things, right? It's all facts. It's all true. All true. But are we willing to go ahead and see that we have a hand in it? Do we also, and this can work in the reverse, it can have us feeling so in need of our own attention that we create humongous egos that need to be constantly fed, i.e., this lunar eclipse is slinging around P. Diddy, i.e., Brother Love. Yeah, we can talk about the money, the greed, the money. We can talk about nefarious things. Do y'all hear what I'm talking about? Give me some likes, comment, give me some comments. Do y'all agree, disagree? Come on, y'all. Give me some love for Brother Love I'm talking about. But just imagine, and again, this is not for us to feel sorry for him. I mean, if you choose to have a certain emotion in regards to what he's going through, that's your choice. But what I'm saying is, for the things that he has been accused of, if they are true, what type of depravity of self would you have to feel that you would need to go to those lengths to have power, to have money, prestige? That's on just the surface level of just talking about the greed, right? We can talk about the deviant behavior. We What did Delta say? We have all agreed with him and actually for so long. Exactly. Exactly. You know, Spirit has been telling me for a while that the stars are falling. And we've seen it. The stars are falling, and it's the rise of the influencers. We're seeing that. We're seeing now that there are people that look like you and me that are sharing their knowledge. Some of them have beautiful sets and studios. Other people are just in their basement just giving y'all the truth or their version of the truth. I'll put there. Whereas our quote unquote stars are disappointing us. when we realized that they were just influencers too. Mis- We did not know that these people that were set up as stars were actually set up to be influencers. And the quote unquote little people, me, you, anyone that takes their phone or their laptop and decides that they're going to share their truth or share their gifts or do a play, do a skit, um, market themselves, give advice, do makeup tutorials, where to shop, the average Jane and Joe matters. You see, quote unquote, stars are trying to get podcasts. They're starting YouTube channels. They're getting, you know, sponsors. Come on. You are so powerful and important that you can do those things or better with your own imagination. Isn't that amazing? Yeah, for real, for real. And that's what this energy is about. It's about deciding if you really want to experience your superpowers, if you want to experience just being happier. It can be from just being happier to I want to have superpowers where I want to be able to fly. The sky's the limit. It may sound crazy, but that's it. That is in between them and God and their heart. Just imagine if you allowed yourself to look at the way that you treat yourself in relationships, connections, being put on stage. Because Libra, the sign of Libra, which is where the full moon is about relationships, partnerships. And it doesn't always have to be boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife, those type of things. It can also be business. It can also um, be work, creative endeavors. Do you know how powerful you are? But in the past, when you've shown up a little bit stronger, then people were comfortable with, you decided to dial it down. But in actuality, now sometimes you do too much. You do too much because you're not in flow. We still have anxiety. That's why this lunar eclipse is whipping a lot of us. 'Cause I've had to get over myself. I keep touching my mic. I'm sorry, guys. I had to get over myself and my ego about feeling like I'm supposed to go live and there's supposed to be like thousands of people watching me when I have not even shown them consistency with coming once a week for a month. That is like, so get over yourself. So that's a relationship that I'm having with myself of denial, of really showing up as me consistently, for being brave enough to just show up as myself and see who flows through, who listens. Not worried about how many, but just vibe with the people that are going to listen, that are going to flow through. What did Delta say? My glasses are dirty. It says, yes, when social media started, they were always created for everyday people. Now the celebrities get on then it changed the energy or directions of the platforms. Exactly. Yeah. But what's cool is we're starting to take it back. And guys, I know people, everybody's talking about TikTok, TikTok. Oh my God, TikTok. They're going to ban TikTok. They are not going to ban TikTok. If they ban TikTok, I will be shocked. I will be shocked because the only thing that they want to ban for real, if they can't, if the only way they want to ban it is if they cannot control not just the information, they want information, okay? But it's money. Everything comes down to money with this country. They will step on morality or wrap morality around their financial pursuits like a bow. We have to start recognizing that and understanding that they will use emotional things to distract us from ourselves. And community begins with us being able to see ourselves so we can share ourselves authentically so that the communities can grow. It's community to me is not feeling as though you got to argue with someone because they eat a pork chop and you don't eat pork. But are they good people? Do they have morals? Do they have the moral fortitude that you and your tribe or your family have? One reads the Quran, one reads the Bible. Another one, another one is a Buddhist. But where do you all meet? Where do we all meet? We got to stop trying to figure out who's going to be in charge and just lead yourself and find your tribe because everyone doesn't want to be a leader. Everyone doesn't want to be a follower. But more than likely, the people that want to be free will find each other if we start arguing over them. This is what I feel as far as melanated people, we definitely need to get together. We must. We have to start honoring our ancestors here, even if they were misguided by the white man's religion. Those that denied or rejected their African history and heritage. Okay, okay. But that DNA is still in you. You have access to the very African ancestors that you wish to contact through the DNA that you ignore. Because they are that much more connected. I keep telling people, I keep hearing, throw on some gospel music, and I've been doing it, and it feels amazing. Read those Psalms. Do that. Do that. Because those ancestors need that too. As a matter of fact, I got this book. It's called Saturday Magic. Oh, you can't see it. I did this beautiful children's book with my daughter in love called Saturday Magic. I'm going to put the link. It's a beautiful book. You guys got to get it. Got to get it. Because we want to start teaching our children about respecting not only who we are, but those that came before us. How can we expect our children to respect us when we don't even honor our elders? How can we expect our children to advance intellectually when we still argue over silly things? And what's funny is the same debates and arguments that we're having right now, Marcus Garvey, W.E.B. Du Bois, and Booker T. Washington argue about. I think I said this on Sunday. Somebody, I wonder, I just wonder if those three men would have just allowed the other to be. Let the people that want to go to Africa, let them go. Hey, that's my girl. What's up, sis? Just landed. What if Marcus Garvey would have just got his ship, took his people, and did what they did? What if the people in the South that wanted to keep their land and learn trade, what if? What if the talented 10th, as they were called, were celebrated? It just be, even though I do have my concerns with the talented 10th, I do. Oh, girl, thank you. Like what would, instead of us arguing about who's right and who's wrong, because now we study these men. Booker T. Washington is one of the least referenced scholars of that time that some people shunned. They called him, I guess, an uncle, you know what? But he was actually funding a lot of the anti lynching campaigns, NAACP, and other things. When we realize that everyone has their role, we would possibly now have our own farmers where we get our own fruits, vegetables, meat, whatever we want. We could have trade with our brothers and sisters in the continent, in the Caribbean, more smoothly, effectively. We would have our educated lawyers and doctors and dentists and all these different, yet we still carry this energy. We still carrying this energy that if someone's vegan or not. Now it's like if you are vegan, you ain't deep. If you're not vegetarian, you ain't what? I know prayer mothers that used to love their hog maws and chitlins and pork chops and could pray out a demon, can pray down a house, reverse curses. What? Stop it. You worry about you. Me agreeing with you does not make you more powerful. This is something that I'm learning. And that's the gift of this lunar eclipse, because it's going to show you where you've been denying yourself you. You've been denying yourself you and being mad because people are not rocking with you. They're not rocking with you because that's not you. And the other people that really see you, they keep encouraging you and telling you that they see you and they hear you and they appreciate you. But You're concerned about the naysayers, the people that don't rock with you. Why? Because you want to prove them wrong. You want to make sure that they tell you, and they gotta make sure that they, you know, really like, all right, I was wrong. So what? Now, I must say that is the message of this lunar eclipse that I'm still working on too. Can I get an amen? Can I get an amen? That's all that we're still creating cyclical, non-essential arguments. And for what? Thank you. For what? For what? If y'all feeling what I'm sharing, please share my video. Please comment, and I'm gonna drop the link if anybody wants to get some comments. I'm gonna touch on the different topics, and then um, let's see. If you want to join me, if you're watching me on Facebook, inbox me, and if you're watching me on YouTube, I can send it to you there too. Let me know, and I will drop you the link. I think I might can drop it in the comments, but I'm scared to do that. But anyway, yeah. So, um, let me pull up what I sent to my. No, I have to pull it up right now. Let me see. Hold on. I can pull up what I said. But do y'all feel it? I mean, because I know. And again, if there's any astrologers watching me that want to just pop on real quick to explain what the houses are, or the general energy, that would be so cool. Because like again, I know I have been in the issue in the energy of denying myself me, which means that I am also denying the people real me. But they see it. Me coming here and coming on live and talking is such a miracle within itself that I don't even want to really start tripping about, you know, um, for so many different reasons why it's a miracle, from the stuttering to the cancer, like me being number one, um, speaking, and number two, now my next level was speaking my truth. Because sometimes, and this is for whoever can hear this, or if it resonates with you, um, be grateful for the access that you've been given, and for the access that you have been given. Be grateful and thankful for that, right? But don't stay there, because now your gratefulness is being fake. It's time for you to move up and uptick that which you know you are. And that goes for me too. I'm just saying. So me right now, sharing this is huge for me, but it's really not, right? Because I share these things all the time with my friends. I share these things with my husband. I share these things with um, my clients. But the next level of my relationship with myself is trusting myself to present myself to more people. Because what I'm saying is not a new personality or a new thing that I'm doing. It's a new thing that I'm sharing with more people. But this is a part of my destiny. So what aspect of you are you comfortable sharing? And how can you go beyond that? for what you really want. So we're going to do this together. We're going to do this together. And I'm going to get my little mail that I sent out. And if you did not listen to my meditation that I shared, you are missing out. When I tell you you're missing out, you're missing out. It's transformational. And how that happened was like superhuman too. Um, so before I share my screen, I'm going to play my promo again. Once again, my name is Kenda. I'm also known as the Jewelry Factor Mama, also known as Kenda Bell Sproul, married to the awesome, most fabulous, magical Symbia Cow. And I coach women, he coached men, and we coach couples on how to boost their joy factor in order to raise the level so that they can embrace every sacred opportunity of their lives. So we're going to get into the meat of the matter soon, and you'll be joining me.
Yeah, ISO, that's it right there.
All right, we're back. I just took that little break real quick to reset my live. Again, everyone that's watching, I appreciate you watching. If you want to join, I'm going to share the link soon, but I want to get going with what I'm saying. And if I said anything that resonates with you, I take stars, I take likes, I take yes, girl, I take child, get out my business. I take all of that. Comment below. If you know somebody that might would need an eclectic, spiritual, funny message, share it with them, inbox it to them. And if you're not following me, you need to. You need to. You should. You should, because me expressing this feels amazing. Feels amazing. So again, just think about that message that I shared, and I'm probably do like a reel with it. But let's talk about well, let me share this last little bit from what I shared with my people, because I want you guys to really get it. And because we're going to get the message coming or going. And it's hard to not think it's the other person. And again, the other person may be triggering you. They may have ulterior motives, ulterior motives. They may be vicious, mean, evil. Yes, 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 yes. All of that. But if you can identify all of that, that means that you can also start identifying how to shift out of that situation or shift more into who you are. There should be an aspect of that understanding where then you say, not only do I see that I need to create boundaries, but the next level is creating space for me to be who I am. So it's not so much that I'm putting a line, a a line across. Boundaries are good and we need them sometimes. But I want to get to the place. I want to develop a place where I am so much in my energy of who I am that the space that I occupy will only people that vibe with me can be in that space, because anyone else, it's like there's no room for them. There's no room for them. You understand what I'm saying? Like I my aspiration is to be so much in my power and my energy that there's such a joy that anyone that's in that, that's my tribe. That's my tribe. And anyone else, they can look, they could be around, but I have space where boundaries not even necessary anymore. That's what I want to be able to do. That's what I want to be able to do. Anybody, let me share really quick. And anybody that wants to be on my email list or wants to know information about the Sacred Joy Garden, DM me or send me an email. Right. So, like I shared this month about laughter, but this is what I share with my ladies. This full moon energy is in the air. I sent this on Sunday night. It hasn't begun, but many have been feeling the energy since last week. So I want you guys to consider the different challenges you may have been feeling last week leading up to Monday. Were you feeling a broodingness about something, a pressure? I know I was feeling very tired. I was feeling a heaviness. It wasn't anything in particular that I could think about that I was like upset about or felt weird about or whatever. I felt the energy. So what I shared was a lunar eclipse occurs when the earth passes between the sun and the moon, casting a shadow on the moon. This happens only during a full moon when the sun, earth, and moon are aligned in a straight line or very closely aligned or very closely aligned. The full moon lunar eclipse in Libra officially starts Monday, March 25th at 12:53 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So that was um, yesterday morning, peaking at about 3 a.m. Monday morning and ending at about 5:32 a.m. Eastern Standard Time for a total of 279 minutes. Now, this is per NASA. So, anyone that knows me, I love astrology and I'm also getting into numbers. And I'm going to have Lloyd Strayhorn to join me again, probably in the next week or two, because I want him to really help us to get into what this year is about, and this solar eclipse that is happening on April 8th, and it's the 8th year and all this stuff. I want to know if there anything in the numbers as well as the sky that we need to know. And I don't want to. I want to be prepared, but I also want to make sure that my folks are. So back to what I was sharing. So 279, a celestial combination of numbers 2, 7, and 9, embodies a symphony of energies and attributes that offer profound guidance and insight. Number 2, gracefully brings forth its essence of flexibility and devotion, urging us to embrace faith and trust as you navigate life's journey. With encouragement and support, it beckons you to serve others dutifully while finding attainment and happiness along the way. It beckons you to serve others dutifully while finding attainment and happiness along the way. Now, what that's saying, let me just finish what I'm saying. Remember, number 2 is a beacon guiding you towards fulfilling your life's purpose and soul mission. So, again, Libra, it's the balances. It's the balancing of two things. We can say yin yang, light dark, whatever you want to say. Whenever we see any of these signs with these different polarities, may it be Pisces, may it be Gemini, mm, may it be Libra, it's the balancing of two, what's light versus what's heavy. Gemini, masculine, feminine, inner, outer, shadow, light, whatever you want to call it. Um, the Pisces, swimming within the current, swimming deeper, all of these different things. So when we talk about this in terms of this moon and what this is saying with number two is I want to give special attention to it beckons you to serve others dutifully while finding attainment and happiness along the way. So if you're going to dutifully serve others and really get into a partnership, a support system of any kind, you must be attaining happiness along the way. A lot of people like to use the term obedience is better than sacrifice. And I've always interpreted that as you should not complain while you're doing something, which is true. But if you feel the complaint in your heart, you're not really giving a sacrifice. The sacrifice is not necessarily your body or your time or your money. The sacrifice is your ego. The sacrifice is you genuinely finding attainment and happiness along the way, not hoping that you'll experience it, but choosing that as I do this, I release myself to make sure that I get what I need in the process. That's what this moon is about. And again, this is not just about love and relationship. This is with, again, the relationship with yourself and how that shows up in whatever partnerships that you find yourself in. May it be romantic, business, friendships, social. And some people may be separating, breaking up, or changing the dynamics of their different relationships. They might hear, "Oh, you acting different. Are you acting different, or are you acting like you're actually paying more attention to yourself?" Keep that in mind. So we move on to again, it was for 279 minutes. So the next number is seven. In the presence of number seven, and if anyone is feeling what I'm saying, give me some comments. Does it, oh, that's too vague? Okay, I'm getting to the meat. So let me get to it. So in the presence of number seven, the cosmic forces of evolution and inner knowing converge. Embrace the blessing of good fortune and tap into your inner wisdom and mysticism. Persist with determination and spiritual awakening, delving into the depths of learning, study, and research to enrich your spiritual journey. So, this is saying be sure that you are honoring yourself in these partnerships, in these interactions by embracing yourself. And then it's being open to good fortune as a result of that. So, whatever you think you might be losing, you might actually be gaining something greater from another entity, another space, another job, another relationship, or that job, that person, that thing will show up more in the way that you need because they are showing up for who you are truly and what you truly need. I hope that makes sense. I feel like I'm talking a little fluffy. And this again, inner wisdom, the mysticism study learning, that means watching my videos. That means looking up things that you're interested in. That could mean reading your favorite scripture. I don't care what system that you follow, but this is to say that you must also look towards enhancing your inner wisdom as well so that you can be more of who you're supposed to be for you. So you can be in better relationship with others. And this is going to come through you not being afraid of the change and seeking wisdom through study. And the final number 9 resonates with the universal spiritual laws, illuminating a path of higher perspective and responsibility. Lead by example, embodying strength of character and benevolence as you walk the path of life, embracing endings and conclusions as opportunities for growth and renewal. Remember, endings can include ways of thinking and behavior. So go back to what I just shared. This doesn't mean that you need to go in and quit your job tomorrow. This does not mean that you tired of him and he needs to get out and go. Because if you're not being clear about who you are to yourself, for yourself, in that relationship, you can throw him out, and the next one you'll create that pattern. Ask me how I know. It could be you finally changing your own energy. Resist the devil, and he will flee. That means the ego. But I'm not going to go there today. I'm going to try to keep it simple. So, in conclusion, 279 signals the completion of a significant phase in your life's journey. With closure comes new beginnings, paving the way for you to fully embrace your soul's calling. So, what I shared with my ladies is while you sleep, the energy will be calibrating you to reflect on how you respond to yourself in relationships and interactions with others. I'm going to repeat that. The energy will be calibrating you to reflect on how you respond to yourself in relationships and interactions with others. What does that mean? That means it could mean, am I ashamed that I'm angry? Do I feel bad that I don't want to do something? I'm going to do it anyway. Am I being quiet when I know I want to speak? Am I speaking when I don't feel like talking? I'm just giving you simple examples, but they can be so much deeper. And what I told them, if you listened to and completed the new moon meditation, whatever came up for you is the root of any struggles you may be facing. It's time to accept them as sacred opportunities for growth. And that meditation is still available. You can listen to it. I created it on the new moon, but it's still a powerful healing meditation that would be great for this eclipse season. I am considering doing another meditation for this eclipse season. You know, I'm going to drop the link, y'all. I'm trying to go through all my stuff. All right. So now, if there are no apparent struggles for you, it could indicate an area where you have the opportunity for more expansion and more growth. Some people say, "Hey, I'm good." You you might be good, but there might be certain things that you could build upon, have even more. So I told my ladies in the Sacred Joy Garden for the next few days, meditate on the following things. And you guys can do this too. So if you have like a notebook or something nearby, grab it real quick and jot these questions down. I'll give you a couple of minutes. Well, a couple of seconds. If not, you can always refer back to my video. So the first question, is this conflict necessary? Is my ego being my servant or my Lord? Full moon energy is very intense, and we're still going to be kind of like carrying the ripples of it, the aftermath of it, if you will, for the next few days. And then, if I'm not mistaken, we have Mercury going retrograde. That's why I need my astrology people. I'm try to get somebody to jump on here next time I do these. Is the conflict necessary? Do I need? Do I really need to prove that I'm right? Is my ego leading me to demand this? So that therefore is my Lord? Or is it my servant where it's reminding me, okay, I'm feeling a certain way? But what is my ultimate truth about this? Do I really need this conflict? What is it going to prove? Am I really going to take assertive, changing actions if I have this, if I arouse or poke this conflict? If not, you don't need to do it right now. You need to be looking within yourself more. The next thing, what am I not surrendering to and why? I'm not surrendering to my brilliance and my genius for me. I'm not surrendering to it because I'm afraid of it. But that's for me to share with my Sacred Joy Garden ladies. But you asked that, what am I not surrendering to? And surrendering to something is not necessarily a bad thing. Surrendering is really can be a submissive power move. When we talk about sub and dominos, different things like that, the submissive has actually a lot of power, because if the submissive does not submit or does not surrender, then the dominant has nothing. Has nothing. So, what are you not surrendering to that could really, in a more positive example, carry you to where you say you want to go, to where your body is aching to be and your heart is crying for? Why are you not surrendering to that? Is your ego your servant or your Lord? And this is for me too. Any work that I give to any of my clients, I'm always doing with myself, because I'm not the type of person that thinks that because I have tools that I'm healed. It's called maintenance. Everything that you consider that you've healed or you've moved over, what do they say? New levels, new devils. So as I continue to perfect myself, as I continue to grow myself, as I continue to allow myself to see myself, I'm going to always have to surrender to something so I can rise higher. And that goes for you too. Number 3, are you giving and receiving respect in your relationships? Again, this is not necessarily love and relationships. I'm feeling a lot of people are dealing with this with work and friendships and business. Relationship stuff, people are pretty much, we can pretty much identify when we are not respecting ourselves. And if we're brave enough, we can also learn about the ways that we're not respecting our partners. When it comes to business, work, um, things like that, what I'm feeling for us, including myself, is um, are you respecting the people that you're interacting with? Are you respecting them by letting them know how brilliant you are? Are you dumbing yourself down? And I know I have a lot of fierce people watching, so they're like, "Nah, I'm not dumbing myself down." But there are people that feel like they can't show but so much. I mean, maybe I'm just talking to myself tonight. Maybe this is for me, but I feel that there's for this for someone else too. You know, I'm not respecting people enough to give them the powerful me because I don't respect it. Am I giving them room and space to be their brilliant, magnificent selves? Am I allowing myself to receive that respect and not be, oh, nah, it wasn't anything, but you spent all night on it, but you invested a lot of money in it. I don't know who I'm talking to. So why would you downplay it and act like, oh, it's nothing. Say thank you. You're respecting yourself and you're respecting the energy that someone's giving you by complimenting you, by acknowledging you, by validating you, and you're watering down by saying, oh, this old thing, that's someone sharing their energy with you in a positive way. It's just adding good to it, but you're like, get away. Why? Go back to what I told you this energy is about. Number 4, what can you choose to laugh at? What is not that serious? What can you choose to laugh at? There are certain things that you can laugh at. It don't have to be that serious. It doesn't have to be. You just choose it to be. You choose that to be. You know? All right. I'm about to drop my link for y'all because I done preached enough for the night. I've been on here for a minute. You know, let's see. If I do not know you, I am not adding you to my live if you do not have a picture or an avatar. I don't know why it's not showing on my Facebook. I'm an inbox my peoples. Anybody that's watching that on Facebook that wants to join, let me know and I will inbox you the link. I'm not going to be on here too much longer because I've been on here for almost 2 hours. Wait a minute. because I haven't even talked about Diddy yet, but I just felt like what I shared needed to be shared. But that's part of what I'm doing. I'm coming out of my shell. Stop being afraid of myself because it's painful. Being a not being you, it's so painful. We have to stop putting ourselves in pain. And anybody that likes what I'm saying, make sure you follow me. Make sure you follow me. All right. And if you want to join the Sacred Joy Garden, you sure can. I just shared the link with some people. If you can join, what did Makeda Dominguez said, I'm sure I'm dumbing myself down that they really don't know how much harmony I can bring on a broader level. Exactly. Allow yourself. Come back tomorrow about Diddy. You know what? I think I will. I might wait because I've been on here how long? Yeah, 90 minutes. I'm starting to get a headache. Okay, I might come back tomorrow with that for sure. All right, Deltra, I'm gonna let you jump on here real quick and close this out because I didn't even talk about the book of Clarence and how this is Holy Week and the whoever's. You know, everybody has a name for the whoever's, as I like to call them, the whoever's. But they're doing this during leading up to Easter. What's going on? Why are they playing with us? Lunar eclipse. The whole thing is, even if somebody's doing it on purpose or not, it's still happening. The Key Bridge, that cargo ship was from Singapore, and it was allegedly headed to Panama. Um, my husband travels on that bridge for work quite often, and it's the very thought of it happening is so scary, and just that it's fallen. But my heart goes out to the family of the people. I'm going to pull up the story real quick while I wait for Delta to join me, and then I'm going to call it a night, and I'll talk about Diddy tomorrow. So basically, for anyone that did not know, Baltimore Key Bridge collapsed after ship collision. And this was just updated at 9:26. But for anyone that has not seen the video, I don't know. Hopefully, I won't get in trouble for sharing this. But here we go.
This is the shocking moment the Francis Scott Key Bridge collapses after being hit by a huge container ship. As videos emerge online from live streams and passers-by, CNN has looked into exactly what happened. The ship in question is Dali, a 984-foot Singaporean container ship that was heading to Colombo, Sri Lanka, with 2 pilots on board, the ship's management company says. Using Marine Traffic, a public ship tracking platform, we identified Dali, the ship, as it set off at midnight 50 a.m. in the morning. It follows a straight path towards the bridge until 1:26 a.m. when it starts veering off course. Shortly after it crashes, rescue boats can be seen rushing to the scene. We matched this route to what we see in the live stream. Shortly before it veers off course at 1:24 a.m, we see here the ship's lights going out before coming back on seconds later. At 1:25 a.m, we see large plumes of smoke coming from the ship. Then the lights go out again at 1:26 a.m. It indicates a power failure. The crew on board did notify authorities of a power issue, according to the governor of Maryland. Just before the bridge collapses, vehicles can be seen on the bridge, but as the Mayday call goes out, luckily the traffic stops before further tragedy hits. Still, as the search for survivors continues, Baltimore City Fire Department have since confirmed that their sonar have detected vehicles in the water. The ship had in fact crashed before. The port of Antwerp in Belgium tells CNN back in 2016, when it was maneuvering out of a port, it crashed. The report said it suffered damages in the stern.
Let me stop because I think that sometimes they copyright strike you. So I don't want to yes, Francis Scott Key did write the wrote the Star Spangled Banner. Yes. And yes, it see, there you go. It did, right? It did. It did look like that. It did look like that. I'm just saying. So I'm not going to play too much more of the a video because I don't want to get copyright strike my first time out. But they said that there were 8 people that went in. So it says, like, basically the latest update is that the Coast Guards have ended the search and rescue operation for 6 people who were on the Francis Scott Key Bridge when it collapsed. So my prayers go out to family members, the survivors of those people. I cannot imagine what their moments could have been. I just pray that it was not long, I guess. I don't know if that is appropriate to say, but the idea of that at night, no warning, the dark, the cold, like I don't even want to even put my energy into a field to even remotely want to empathize with that energy because I don't want to even attract it to me. You know, the leader of the Coast Guard, the Rear Admiral Shannon Gilders, said that they did not believe that they were going to find any of those people still alive. So, and this was just recently. Now, they did say that 2 people were pulled from the Patapsco River. One of them was not injured, which is amazing. One was not injured, and the other was taken to a local trauma center in very serious condition. So I want to know, who is this superhero that was not injured? Ahead of the collision, there were some maydays put out. So that did allow the authorities to stop traffic and likely save a lot of lives. So because that was one of my questions, was like, at 1:30 at night, it's probably not a whole lot of people, but it might have been a steady traffic of people. So, like, where did they, how did they, oh, there she go. How did they manage to not have more people being challenged like that going into that water? I was like, how were they able to 8 people? I mean, 8 people is 8 too many, but I thought that was a miracle. But we do see that there are certain things in place with that. That was just wow, you know. Um, and what they're saying is that the collapse has indefinitely halted the flow of ships in and out of Baltimore, which could hurt the local economy. The strain on supply chains and scramble deliveries along the East Coast. So, with that being in mind, number one, not only are we concerned about the economy, see, again, everything drills down to finance, worried about economy, but the idea that not only is the port quote unquote losing money, but are we able to get certain shipments in and out for ourselves? So I don't know how the supply chain works, but the bridges, so this is boats, this is also vehicles, trucks. And Baltimore is a pretty substantial hub. It's not it may not be as big as others, but we're a pretty substantial hub. So some people feel it might be you know, we need to see the frequencies of Singapore and Panama. Yes, ma'am. You know, so we need to just look at the whole thing and not just think of it as oh, it could be a certain attack. It could be. It could be a a bad, horrible accident. It could be any of those things. But what are we going to do about it? Are we finding routes to make sure that we know how to get in and out? Are we calling our congressmen, our state senators, and our U.S. senators, our council people, to make sure that our neighborhoods, our markets, our stores are able to get the things that they need? That's what we need to be talking about. Whether or not why it happened, how is it going to affect us in a day to day? That's power. That's not what we're talking about. And then that's not what we're really concerned about. But then we hear that, Family Dollars are closing. That's weird. How they know? How did they know that this was going to happen? Oh, I'm sorry. Mm. All right, Delta, what's up?
Hello, hello. I'm sorry. Once again, sis, the camera, me and the camera ain't do it. And I tried to put a picture up of myself, but it wouldn't seem to let me. So I just said, okay, my
Okay, well,
voice doesn't have to do
I
for
know
tomorrow.
you, so it's cool.
Yeah. When I first saw that you was going live, I was excited because I'm like, okay, finally some good conversation, some substance. We're gonna get into some stuff that really matters, right? Because we have
Mm,
so much fluffy stuff going on, stuff to make you not really tap into what's happening around you. And
mm-hmm.
you know, you know how I feel about the whole sleepwalking stuff. It's what I think is happening also is the consciousness of people are being pricked, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
so especially people in our age group, the old 50 crew.
Child, yes, they got the Freaknik documentary where they got to face their former selves.
Oh my
They got
God.
anyway. We'll talk about that tomorrow. But keep going.
And it's like, I noticed for me this year, I've been drawn to watch a lot of stuff that's happened in the 18, 17, 1800s.
Mm-hmm.
saying, I talked to you about this before. Like, what is that about? Like, why do I feel so connected to that time? Like, by
Mhm.
all accounts, these people had horrible lives. Like, it was so much happening to them that wasn't good, but they still managed to somehow pull themselves out of it. And so I don't know if it's that or if it's just me being like a history nerd. I don't know, probably a whole lot. But I think it's
All of it.
always tied to my past lives and learning the
Mhm.
lessons that I came here to live to learn. Um,
Mhm.
I watched Cleopatra yesterday.
Which one?
The one with the black woman historian that did the documentary.
Oh, I didn't watch that yet for
Oh,
some reason.
it's fabulous. It's
I,
fabulous. I mean,
I know you can judge me. I should have been watched that. You can
she's
judge me.
bad. No, I mean I just watched a sheep, but she was wow. The way I just appreciated the way that they portrayed her,
Mhm.
not as a weak, uh, you know, woman with no power, no influence, but as a pharaoh, as a female pharaoh, a queen or female king, if you will, right?
She
That
was.
fought for her country, that she wanted
Mhm.
Egypt to stay Egypt. She didn't want it to look like the Romans. And so it kind of ties into what you was talking about before. Like she never assimilated. She never. Now what she did do was procreate with them, but she didn't assimilate. And they
Mm.
didn't stand the fact that they couldn't break her. Like no
Mhm.
matter what they did, she always managed until the end, of course, to come out on top.
Mm.
She was a brilliant woman. She studied. She was like, really good with the military. She was strategic. And she was probably better at this stuff than most of the men around her because they were really
Right.
interested in drinking, having sex. They wasn't caring about that stuff until it was right
Mhm.
top. Meanwhile, here she is, and then the family dynamic, which I thought was very interesting, how they had to marry their siblings to keep it in the family. How also the siblings were trying to kill each other
Mm.
to
Right.
stay in power, because having that pharaoh, that king title was all they had. That was
Mhm.
so important. And how when their father died, he left everything in a mess.
Mhm.
He didn't give them the tools, the keys, the understanding that they needed to carry on. And I think that stood out to me because I look at, I have grown children, you have a grown son. What are we telling them? What are we giving them to carry on? And a lot of
Uh,
times we're
mhm.
not giving them anything.
Yeah, the one of the things that I think that is good is that a lot of people we are really looking at giving. Do you have me on something else? I hear feedback.
No, 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 not at all. It's just probably just my phone. It's
That's
just my phone.
interesting.
But I can cut the mic off while you talk.
Okay. So, all right. So, um, I forgot what I was saying. How? What was I saying? I forgot that fast.
Now, Kendra, if you
No, what did
forgot,
you say?
I
I
forgot.
forgot because I was trying to figure out what the static was, and my brain just went poof.
I
Um.
was saying, what did we leave behind?
Oh, what did we
Like,
leave behind? Thank you. Yes. Yes. Okay. 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 So, thank you. Thank you, sis. A lot of people are really getting better with making sure that they have estates left for their children, inheritances. There are still certain things that people need to do better with, including myself, and making sure that that I'm leaving something for my children. But one of the things that we need to make sure that we're not leaving them with is generational trauma, that we're not leaving them with stories about who they are that are not true. And when I say that, not true is not necessarily that they're being fake nice, but they're being fake mean. We need to be able to know why our parents are the way that they are. We because that's going to heal us so we can heal our relationships with our children, who in turn can be more healed to heal their relationships with their children, and so on and so on. We can boost the joy factor when we can start learning about who our parents are. And it can be just one story at a time. So that's something I hope we're not passing down. Go ahead.
Yes, that's true. And that's exactly what happened with this, because then she in turn passed the same thing down to her children who weren't even raised in their culture. And so,
Mm,
because they were stolen, her oldest son was killed because they wasn't going to have a black Caesar, right? Because
mm-hmm,
his father was Caesar. So it was a
mm-hmm.
lot to read, a lot of things that made sense. I really like understanding that part. I
Mm.
also watched the Book of Noah on Netflix.
I still haven't seen that. And that's something that definitely we need to talk about. I'm probably going to try to watch it in the next few days.
Please do, because it's, well, I'm just going to warn you. It's very bloody, very gory. Um, it's definitely not the pretty little picture that was painted for us
Right.
as children raised in church and Sunday school. It's definitely not the Noah's Ark of Sunday school. It's brutal, bloody.
But that
Um,
makes sense, doesn't it? Just think
it
about
makes
40
sense.
days in a
No, that's
confined ship.
even where that's not the bloody part. The bloody part was before, while he was building the ark. The conditions that and this is what I literally was like captivated by this movie, watching them build the ark, and how they kind of brought these magical, without giving away too much, but how they brought these magical beings to kind of help him with the ark, because he would have never been able to do it by himself. So they
Mhm.
brought some magical beings in there to help
You
him.
know, you know what? No, I'm sorry. I'm laughing because they would rather say that angels helped Noah to build the ark, but they'll say that aliens helped the Egyptians build the pyramids. I just think it's funny. But go ahead.
Well, these weren't angels; they were rock people. So they were kind of like, I don't know, they were formed out of rocks. So I'm telling you, this is a different
Really?
yeah, this is a different version,
Oh.
but they were huge. They were like giants, and they helped them build the ark. And but what was happening was the uprising while he was building the ark. The conditions that he was building it in were horrific. There were people dying all around him, trying to get in. Eventually, they did storm the gates and try to get in the ark. And, the ark was really big. So to see it in real, like in a real kind of representation, and
Mm,
not what my mind came up with
mm.
when I used to read about it, was really shocking. And how quickly the water came in, how the animals, it was
Shoot.
very interesting.
Just imagine the faith you have to get on a handmade big old ship with a whole bunch of animals in it.
With your whole family.
Your
And then, of course, all of and here it is again with the family dynamic. Brother turning against father, son turning against father, brother and brother against each other. Then the female component. It was just a lot of family issues. And I was like,
mm,
you know, the family construct from the Bible is very dysfunctional. I don't know why we've never, really understood that, but very dysfunctional, and you see it play itself out in in the show, in the movie. But yes, I've been telling you to watch that, so make sure you watch that.
I know, I
Still
know.
in the Gilded Age. I'm not finished.
The
I
Gilded
think
Age is everything.
it's
Listen, let me
every
jump in really quick, guys. If you want to really learn, wait a minute. If you want to really learn about about the way modern society got structured like this, watch the Gilded Age. What I love about the Gilded Age is that number one, it is for some people that are like, well, it's about a bunch of old rich white people. Yeah, but I mean, they ran New York. But what I love about it is that they also have dynamics of an African American woman and her family that are not freed slaves or living on the poor side of town, and so have you. So it's showing that there were people that had been generations out of slavery and prospering that were educated. And they're also showing how classism and how they didn't even like their own. They treated their own in a very nasty way, and the idea that we are perpetuating it and extending it and upholding that system, which goes back to what I was talking about in the beginning. Like, are we going to stop cutting off the head, or are we going to start focusing on destroying the regenerative power of this snake or this dragon that erodes our system by all these different isms: sexism, racism, classism, capitalism, you know? Okay.
Yes. I just watched a movie about the girl and the dragon. I can't think of the name of it, but Angela Bassett was in it.
Mm-hmm.
And this girl faced this dragon head on, honey.
Mm.
Not only did she face it, she killed it, brought it back to life, and then used it to avenge herself. So she tamed it. And I said, what a, like, because I'm always seeing beyond what's shown.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's a great thing to think about, that you could face your fear, face your dragon, your biggest fear. What's bigger than a dragon blowing smoke? Like, this thing was huge. And this one little girl, out of all these little girls that had come before her that had been killed by this dragon,
Mm.
she fought this dragon. Her own father sold her. Okay?
Mm.
About betrayal. And when they went to sacrifice her sister, she went into crazy mode and got her sister out of there. But this one girl fought this dragon, killed it, found the dragon's weakness. Because, like you always say, no victim, no villain, right? And so,
Mhm.
yes, the dragon was angry, but it was angry because they had killed all of her children. And
So what do
so,
you expect?
so
You killed my
so
family.
right, killed all her children, her babies, as they was coming forth.
Oh.
And so the dragon was like, well, every child, every female that comes through your, I'm gonna kill it. I want, that's gonna be mine.
Mm.
And so he figured out a way to save his own daughter by teaching her how to, I guess, whatever. And what I'll tell you, what the movie, I think it's on Netflix. It's really popular now because it's very good. It's a good movie. And I sometimes can't remember names and stuff. But the
I'll look up
dragon,
girl that kill out that handles dragon. I'll try
yeah,
to find it.
she
But
slayed that dragon. But I felt so, like, I was so inspired by this movie because She was in an impossible situation. There was no way out of this. She was thrown down in a pit to
Mm,
be the dragon's dinner. And somehow when they dress, she was supposed to be getting married. So that's how they fooled, they write you, say, hey, Kendra, it's time for our children to get married. Oh, okay, we're gonna get married. But when they got to the castle and to the palace, they realized something was wrong. And Angela Bassett was the stepmother, and she was saying, I don't like this. This doesn't she's like, it
mm,
doesn't feel right. And so, the husband, the father was so hard up for money, he went on
mm,
along with everything that the queen was saying. But the queen was not interested in getting to know anybody. She didn't want to hear what nobody had to say. She was just like, I'm going to keep this dragon fed with these little girls as long as I can. So
mm,
offer her son, and her son, after a while, see, people want to know, oh, why they got Diddy's kids in handcuffs. I'm not going to go too far, but I'm just making a point.
yes, we're gonna talk
But
about it tomorrow for sure.
her son watched all of this. He was in on it. He never said anything. He never felt powerful enough to go against the queen mother. What you got?
Listen, listen, listen. I walked away because I did my little shout. Now we can talk. The Queen Mother can be interpreted by so many different things. Hmm.
Okay, I'm just
But
going
go ahead.
really quick. So he would pretend to like the girls, and we're gonna get married. He talked to them, and he kind of was. They went away to kind of talk about getting married. They kind of got them married so quickly. Everything was already ready. But the thing that stuck out to me in the movie, and I didn't know why, but I did after a while, was how they dressed her. They put her in these really tight corsets, and she had about, I don't know, 6 pieces on her. And there was a little trinket, like a little locket filled with like some type of substance. And her sister was, she was just so excited. Oh, my
Mm,
sister's going to be the princess, so she was in there, and they took it from her and they attached it to the young lady's dress. And I was like, that's interesting. Something's up with that. So anyway,
mhm,
as the movie goes on, you get to see why all of that was so important, how she was dressed, because she was being dressed for the kill. She didn't know she was being dressed to
mm,
be killed. So when they took her, they cut her hand, they cut their hand and cut her hand so that she would have the royal blood running through her veins. The dragon don't know the difference. The dragon is smelling the blood in her hands. And it said,
mm.
you smell like a royal. It's gotta be so careful who you let in your blood. You know what I'm saying? Like who you let in
Girl,
your
come on
DNA,
now.
because the attacks on you may not even be about you, honey. It might be about who you have aligned yourself with, or who you have joined your blood with, right? Who you made a covenant with, and not
Mm,
understand this person is marked, or this person has a death on their heads, or whatever. So the only thing that the dragon could smell was the royal blood. She didn't know the difference. They threw this girl down the pit with the gold coin, and when she hit the bottom, it was dark everywhere. I don't know. I'm not going to give too many details, but you're going to see why she needed all that stuff she had on. It literally was a great
damsel.
play.
That
Damsel.
move, damsel. Okay, all
Damsel.
right. Okay,
There
all
you go.
right, all right.
I was going
Okay.
find it when we got off the, but damsel. Watch. See, when I saw the name, I was like, see, that's how it gets you. She wasn't, when we hear damsel, the next word we think of is in distress, right? A damsel in distress
Mhm.
that needs help. This girl was not that. She was a warrior. She was a fighter.
Oh, I
And
can't
she
wait to see that.
slayed that dragon and then tamed the dragon to
Hmm.
kill her enemies. Come on,
All
somebody.
right. Okay. Well,
The
there
thing that
goes.
was supposed to kill you, you use it to kill them. Come on now.
That's making lemonade. That's the joy factor. That's finding your medicine.
I
That's
love it.
finding your medicine. That's where joy is found. Joy is not acting like like you don't have pain. It's like taking that pain, diving into it, and pulling out the joy. I survived it and I'm more powerful for it. But we can talk about that another day. It is we've been on here for 2 hours. I appreciate you for hanging out with me, girl.
Yes, girl. I've been here since you got on. I was waiting. So I've been
Oh,
enjoying
thank you.
everything. I just want to
I,
say that I drove over that bridge last week to go see my daughter who lives literally
mhm,
across the street from the bridge. And
mhm,
I'm very thankful today
mm.
because we none of us know. I said this one, I said somebody is glad they woke up late. Somebody's glad they was running late today. That's why I never get mad when I be like, oh, I gotta be here on this time. You don't know what you being spared. So again, finding the joy in something, find the joy in everything. Cause that is really, I mean, I just when I saw that, I said, my God, we was just on that bridge. Like I would have been on
Mm.
the bridge coming to see her. That's how we come to see her.
Yeah,
So
I
she
know.
shook
Yes,
up.
that was
She
that.
shook up.
Listen, I'm sure that was deep. That was deep. So
Yeah, she said they thought they were having, huh?
how are you going to get out now?
I don't know how she's getting out. I know that she said it felt like an earthquake because their
But that's a
houses are
whole nother
literally.
message, girl. I'm getting ready to go.
Okay, okay.
That,
You know,
that,
we could literally walk to the water from her house. Like it's that close. That's how close
like
she.
with that bridge gone, how else are you going to go out? That was the route. That's all that you knew. How you going to get out though?
We
But
gotta go to
we
the
going
city. Okay.
I know, girl. I'm being sarcastic, girl. What journey you got to go through to get out? You hear what I'm saying? How
You
you going
gotta
to get
get
out?
out. Get
How you going to get
out.
out? Um. So
Thank you.
thank
I
you.
needed this tonight.
I did too. I appreciate you. I'm about to close out. I love you. Peace.
Love you too.
All right. So I'm about to close out. Makeda, who's been rocking with me too, been hanging in there. I appreciate you. I spoke to her. She is out and about being busy, but she took time to listen. For everyone else that has been listening, been rocking with me, that shared it, I appreciate this. This felt great for me to be me and just flow. And I want to add my last little comments. Makeda's Dominion says we have to look up the origin of the word damsel. My spirit says that damsel is not weak. Okay, we're gonna talk about that tomorrow. Remind me, I'm gonna write that down. And she also said, I love me some pyramid. Go ahead, D. Right. Let me tell you, I have some of the dopest friends. I have Makeda is brilliant, Delta is brilliant. I have I my boundaries now. I'm creating space because this is my tribe. You know what I'm saying? Like I have brilliant friends, brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. And she's a New Yorker too. And she said, "I'm telling you, it was done purposefully. It was purposely done." All right, we're gonna talk about this tomorrow. I appreciate everyone that's been watching. If you're not following me, make sure you follow me. I'm gonna try to come back on to no, I'm gonna come back on tomorrow. Now try, do. I just heard Yoda say, no try, do. So I appreciate everyone. And if you like what you heard, you can send me a little donations, or just simply follow me. So you can get notified for when I go live again. Of course, share it, all of that good stuff. All right. Have a good night, and we are out. Uh-oh.
Yeah, I saw that's it right there.